Hello and welcome to the Collapse Experiment. I've got another book today that I've read recently that thought needed some attention because I feel like this is a very underrated writer, although he has a very successful career, just not as successful as I think he should. The guy doesn't get enough credit. The Elephant of Surprise by Joe R. Lansdale. If you're familiar with Lansdale, you might know him from Bubba Hotep, which is a nice cult classic. Anytime you can get Bruce Campbell in a movie dressing up like Elvis, kudos to you. Elephant of Surprise, I don't remember which number, I believe it's like 11 or 12 of the Hap and Leonard series. If you're not familiar with Hap and Leonard, a really good introduction actually is not the books themselves. How I got interested in these characters and the movies. How I got interested in the characters in the book series was through the Netflix series Hap and Leonard, which I believe there was 2 seasons, maybe 3, but I can only remember 2 offhand. And one of the actors who played Leonard, unfortunately, has passed away a couple years ago. So that series will probably never ever end up, at least not with the same actors, being revived ever again. And unfortunately, the actor who played Leonard was pretty darn good. Omar, rest in peace. So, The Elephant of Surprise. This one, I mean, it's not a thick read. Some of them are, some of them aren't. Joe R. Lansdale, he's one of these writers. He doesn't outline any of his books. He just lets the characters tell the story and carry him through the plot. So some of them are longer, some of them are a lot shorter. This one is very fast, action-paced. And I believe, at least in my opinion, it has a lot of elements of different action movies that I kind of drew out from the plot. There's one scene in particular. It starts out on a rainy evening where Hap and Leonard are driving down the road and they come across this girl in the middle of the road in this rainstorm. They help her, they get her in the car, and then this truck comes out of nowhere with these guys who are obviously hunting this girl down, but they don't know why, and her tongue is almost completely cut out of her mouth. So it kind of already catches your attention from the very beginning because you want to know, like, what happened to this girl? Obviously, she knows something that she's not supposed to be talking about. Who are these other guys in the truck? That is where our story goes. And there's a shootout in a hospital, which I wouldn't say, if you're familiar with John Woo's Hard Boiled with Chow Yun-fat, there's that famous scene in the hospital where Chow Yun-fat is rescuing the babies and there's a bunch of explosions everywhere and there's this grand shootout. It's not that, it's more realistic, okay? I give Lansdale credit on that because he makes the fight scenes, guns or no guns, more realistic than they would be had they been filmed by someone like John Woo. But there is a shootout in the hospital. Later on, there's a sheriff's department. It's got a jail, so I'm guessing it's got to be like the sheriff's department where they're surrounded by a bunch of goons. It's kind of Assault on Precinct 13, where they're trying to get in, and then there's this escape, and they end up in this house, and they're surrounded in the house. Like, there's all this stuff that is happening, and it's just nonstop. It's very, very fast paced, and it keeps your attention. The only time the book really slows down is when the girl that they rescued is able to finally talk, and she tells her story, And so it's a very, it goes back in time to tell like her relationship with this dude and how things kind of fell apart. And then she knew some things about him that nobody else was supposed to know. That is like the slowest point in the book. But at the same time, it's necessary because the whole mystery is like, what happened to this girl? Like, why are they trying to protect her? Like, what's her story? How does she get involved with these goons that are trying to kill her? But it's a very good, and the thing with Hap and Leonard is that the characters are relatively the same per book, but every adventure that they have, there's no formula here. There's nothing. There's no repetitive ideas as to, well, it's a Hap and Leonard book, so you know this is going to happen next. It's not that. This is very 1980s, 90s, John Carpenter, action adventure, John Woo type stuff. I enjoyed it. It's a easy, quick read. And with Lansdale, you get some really good dialogue. The dialogue is very creative. It's very South Texas. And I've never been to South Texas. I've only talked to a few people who may have lived in South Texas, not necessarily from there, but that is where Lansdale is from. And if anyone's going to write the great South Texas novel, it's probably going to be him if he hasn't already. But Hap and Leonard are definitely two characters that it's funny because they're complete polar opposites of each other, but you come to enjoy them both. So you could enjoy one and not the other, but at the same time, they're a duo. Like you can't have one without the other. Like you're never going to have a Hap Collins book where he's just by himself, or a Leonard book where he's just by himself. It's not going to happen. So, The Elephant of Surprise, if you find a copy of this, I would pick it up. It's very enjoyable. You don't have to read the previous Hap and Leonard books to know or enjoy the story. It's not one of those. There's no real references to previous things that happen. And if there is, it's very like Leonard talking about Hap's ex-wife. Like, there's really nothing to it. You're not missing out on anything. It's not you wondering like, what the hell is this guy referring to? No, it's no different than if you had just met these guys. So that's the other great thing about a lot of these Hap and Leonard novels is you can just read one. You could read book 5, you could read book 11, and you're not missing out on any of the previous stuff. You can just solely enjoy the book. So anyways, if you have read any of the Hap and Leonard series, if you've seen the Netflix series, let me know in the comment section. I really enjoy these novels. I've read like 3 or 4 of them so far, and he's still consistently making more. The one that I really want to get to is... It is called... Honky Tonk Samurai. Honky Tonk Samurai. Just because I love the title. For some reason, there's a cool car in the cover, and it doesn't really, like, nothing about the title and the cover or anything fits. But for some reason, it just grabs my attention. It does seem to be one of the longer books, and it is a Hap and Leonard novel. So I am looking forward to reading that one. I have no idea what it's about. That's kind of how I like it to be. So, let me know what you think about this series, these characters. Are there any other of these books that I should check out that were really good? Let me know in the comment section. Keep on typing.